Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, a federal judge has threatened to subpoena Hillary Clinton over her emails. This is a warning Tuesday that he might have to subpoena her entire secret email account, saying that he has real questions about whether the Obama administration gave her special treatment. In the interim, Judge Emmett G. Sullivan said that he's going to be granting discovery to Judicial Watch, who's sued to get a look at the emails. So this means that the group is going to be able to demand the State Department explain who approved Mrs. Clinton's server, how many officials knew about it, and what accommodations they made to her after her emails became a public issue. The judge said that he is inclined to issue a subpoena eventually, forcing the department to go back to Mrs. Clinton and demand she turn over the entire ClintonEmail.com system that she and her top aide, Huma, set up. I guess it was a little bit more convenient for them. But one person who says that he's definitely going to be prosecuting Hillary Clinton if he becomes elected is Donald Trump.
Now, maybe she can prove her innocence, but it just seems to me that I think the public knows everything that they're going to know. You know, the emails have come out, and she seems to be guilty. But you know what? I wouldn't even say that. But certainly it has to be looked at if a Republican wins. If I'm winning, certainly you will look at that as being fair to everyone else. So unfair to the people that have been prosecuted over the years for doing much less than she did. So she's being protected. But if I win, certainly it's something.
Well, I've got to agree with Donald Trump there about justice being served. Is it fair across the board? It never really has been. We've seen them favor Hillary Clinton time and again. Another thing that I agree with Trump on is his stance on the TPP. He is against it. Someone else who's very against it, Bernie Sanders. And he has been speaking out about the TPP, not for the same reasons Donald Trump is, but again, he is against it. Now, he was giving a press conference and MSNBC was covering it. It was going live. But as soon as Bernie Sanders mentioned the TPP and started condemning it, MSNBC cuts away.
And I am helping to lead the opposition to the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
We've been listening to Bernie Sanders, less of a news conference, more of a speech in Boston. They're drawing contrast.
Right. See, there's no news there. They want to cut away. He doesn't have any news for you about the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Now, MSNBC's owner Comcast benefits greatly from the TPP. Kit Daniels has more on why MSNBC would dare cut away from Bernie Sanders.
Every once in a while, there's a article that really serves as a zeitgeist of what's really going on in America and really crystallizes the problems that this country faces. And this article is really no different. MSNBC censors Sanders condemning TPP. MSNBC cut away from live coverage of a Bernie Sanders press conference once he began to condemn the controversial Trans-Pacific Partnership. Social media exploded as a result, as viewers felt the break in Monday's coverage was due to MSNBC's owner, Comcast, not wanting to air criticism of the TPP because it benefits greatly from the treaty. Now, I saw on Twitter when this broke, all the Bernie Sanders supporters, attacking MSNBC, accusing them of censorship. And I saw the clip myself, and I tend to agree with them. But, it sounds bizarre. You got, this far left socialist, Bernie Sanders, and his supporters attacking MSNBC, which is a far left news network. So, it looks bizarre. It's like, what's really going on here? But once you really dig into it, it's really not that bizarre because remember, 90% of the media in America is owned by about 6 or so corporations. And so, you got MSNBC pretending to be liberal, but it's really just authoritarian left. And then you got like Fox News, for example, that, pretends to be conservative, and in many ways it is. But Fox News is really designed to kind of control the conservative movement. And MSNBC is just designed to conserve the leftist movement because there's really no such thing as left versus right in America. It's a false left-right paradigm. What's really going on is the state versus you. And in 2014, there was a former CBS correspondent, Cheryl Atkinson, that revealed that the mainstream media was being covertly manipulated by well-financed political forces who are also trying to sway public opinion through social media and also editing Wikipedia articles as well as, mainstream media in general. And she revealed that real investigative journalism in America is slowly dying away. because there's this current editorial push to promote stories in an unnatural fashion, stories that the public's really not that interested in, but you see it over and over again in the media, kind of like global warming, for example. So, she kind of revealed what's really going on. You got this mainstream media that's controlled by these global elite and politicians and bankers and whatnot that are using it to deceive the population. Now, this has been going on quite some time. I mean, starting out, let's go back to the founding of the country and the founding fathers. They set up this country as a constitutional republic of limited powers, right? And so, but then once you started seeing back in the 1920s and the 1930s, you had all these, the Congress started giving executive, judicial, and even congressional power to these unelected bureaucracies. And now what you have is about 250 or so federal agencies that are completely unelected, and a lot of them run without charters. Congress just gives them money, year after year, with the budget requests. And of course, a lot of these bureaucracies, obviously, they're not really controlled. They might do some wrong. Once they do some really bad wrongdoing, you got Congress might step in and do a hearing in there, here and there. But overall, nothing's ever done. But why is this? Why you would think that even in the 1920s and 30s, when more Americans were awake to what's the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and they had more of a understanding of the foundations of the country, you would think that they would stand up and stop this from happening in the first place. But what you had was the banking elites and politicians. They started buying up the mainstream media, and they started using propaganda techniques developed during World War I to kind of convince the population to support things that they really didn't want. Because when the population relinquishes control over its own affairs and is kept disorganized and distracted through purposeful deception, then you're going to have all these federal bureaucracies that run with unlimited power, and they can do what they want. That's just how it is. And this goes back to why the media hates Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, because the global elite who controls mainstream media, they think that Americans and the world population in general is too dumb to manage their own affairs, and they must be led like cattle to the world envisioned by the global elite, the Davos and Bilderberg and whatnot. So they're using the mainstream media to kind of manufacture consent through people for things that the public doesn't really want. And, you saw this over and over again with gun control and climate change and whatnot. But now you got Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, which are, especially with Trump, they're seen as political outsiders. They're not establishment figures. And they're kind of letting the genie out of the bottle, because they're showing the American public that how this scam works, how the politicians maintain control over the population. All the scams that they run. But Donald Trump's kind of like the guy that's showing the kids how the magician is able to pull all these so-called magic tricks. And once you know how it's going, what's really going on, there's no such thing as magic anymore now, is there? So when the Americans and the world in general start really waking up to this deception, that's when the power brokers, they really start to lose power. Now, once again, this is Kit Daniels with Infowars.com, and I'll probably do an in-depth video report for this for YouTube on my channel, Resistance News, so check it out.
Well, Bernie Sanders isn't the only one that has problems with you having money in your pocket. The globalists also want to take cash out of your wallet. Now, here are 5 ways they're planning on doing that.
Rob Dew with Infowars.com, and I want to talk about cash. That's right, paper currency. It's portable, it's reusable, and it keeps your transactions anonymous. But in the 21st century, the attacks on cash have really ramped up. And here is just a compilation of 5 ways that the globalists and multinationals are trying to kill cash so they can track and trace your every transaction while you're in the matrix.
Number 5, sock puppet attacks. Banker bootlicker Larry Summers has recently come out in vocal support of killing the $100 bill, saying it would make the world a better place. This echoed the statement made by Standard Chartered CEO Peter Sands, who said a $100 bill ban would deter tax evasion, financial crime, terrorism, and corruption. Oh, you mean like how Wachovia laundered $380 billion from Mexican drug dealers, but only paid a $160 million fine? Is that the kind of corruption you speak of, Mr. Sands? Then there is Europe ECB henchman Mario Draghi, who stated he would like to see the end of the €500 note, then move to to kill the 200 and 100 euro note respectively. It's these sock puppet attacks that lay the groundwork for pundits to pick up the ball to brainwash citizens that cash is bad. Number 4. Apps that scream, cash is for losers. Venmo, started in 2009, allows smartphone users to make financial transactions sans cash. Venmo and other transaction apps like Square Cash, PayPal, Google Wallet, and Apple Pay have become a big hit with trendy millennials and are designed to wean these youngsters off of using cash, making it archaic. Just don't lose your phone or you'll be up a creek without a paddle. There are dozens of current cash-killing apps and platforms being used now, and more are on the way. Number 3. Games. Monopoly has just announced money is no more in the Ultimate Banking Edition. Instead of paper money, which can easily be laundered or stolen when you aren't looking, this new edition uses debit cards. It also does away with the easily corrupted banker position, replacing the human with an electronic card reader, aka an ATM. But they have been training young, impressionable consumers to shun cash since the Monopoly Electronic Banking Edition was released in 2006. Remember the game of life? Its new electronic banking version also does away with cash and stores all your money on cash cards, training you to look at plastic cards as having a value. More brainwashing that cash is bad and cumbersome, and of course you can trust the banks to keep all your money safe. Number 2, central banks. Now that we have gone through years of ZIRPs, zero interest rate policies, brought on by the last engineered...
Now you can watch the rest of that report. It's on the Alex Jones YouTube channel. The title is 5 Ways They Are Killing Cash. And it's all about how the globalists have declared a war on cash and how they're planning to pull it out of your wallet. So go ahead and check that out. Share that video with all of your friends. Like we've been warning, they really do have a war on cash. Now stick around because coming up, we're going to be talking about the war on words and specifically internet freedoms.
We believe in win-win, folks, treating people like we want to be treated. That's why we develop nutraceuticals with Dr. Group and other top researchers, chemists, scientists, you name it. He's one of our advisors to come up with products like Anthroplex that is an original product that he made just for us. And this is a base system to make super male or super female vitality work even better. It is natural. It just helps get your body pumping and going in the way you need to be going. And Dr. Group is here till we go to break to tell us about the latest product at InfoWarsLife.com, Anthroplex, that out of the gates, and we do this all the time with a new product, we discount it out of the gates to get you to try it, knowing that you're going to love it. It'll sell out. So InfoWarsLife.com, Anthroplex, 15% off and free shipping for the next 2 days only when you get it with super male or female vitality. Let's go to Dr. Group. Why do you call this the foundation to start the fire, and then the super male takes you to the next level?
Well, we just look at the base problem that's going on right now in all over the world, which is the endocrine disrupting chemicals, the amount of estrogen that men have, the femininity of men, and what's going on even in children right now with low testosterone levels, low sperm count levels, and the problems that and the attack that we're seeing on the endocrine systems of both male and female. So I'm always looking for ways to boost that and to make it more effective and naturally get the body to start producing these hormones and balancing themselves. So what we decided to do was, how can we add a few other components in there that would actually boost the effectiveness of the super male vitality and at the same time address different issues that the male might have, so it would be a full approach. And one of those was zinc. And zinc is actually necessary for the production of testosterone. There's more and more studies coming out that zinc is essential for hormone balancing.
What is in the goat weed? You've got one of the purest, strongest organic forms of it. What's so magic about the goat weed?
Well, the horny goat weed was given that name because years ago in India, they noticed that the goat, a certain time of the year, this weed would grow and the goats would eat it and they would just go crazy with all the female goats. So that's how it was developed. It's called epimedium. And what that's been proven to do over thousands of years is increase sexual pleasure, help balance the male hormones. It can actually be used for women as well. But it really kind of resets and brings the hormone balance, improves sperm motility, and increases testosterone levels.
So it counters the stuff they've been throwing at us. Results will vary overall. All I know is dynamite. I mean, absolutely dynamite with the stamina, with the weightlifting, with the swimming. Folks, the new product is available. Anthroplex, available at InfoWarsLife.com. Dr. Group, thank you for developing this amazing product.
Thank you.